Shabbat Shalom. We are going to begin our service on page 652 with the Israeli song Ani Ve'ata. And the message of this song is that you and I will change the world, and then all will join us.
Ani ve'ata neshane et ha'olam. Ani ve'ata az yavo'u kfar kulam. Amru et ze kodem lefanai ze lo meshane. Ani ve'ata neshane et ha'olam. Ani ve'ata ninatzeh mehatchala. Yihye lanu ra, ein davar shelo nora. Amru et ze kodem lefanai ze lo meshane. Ani ve'ata neshane et ha'olam. Et ha'olam. Et ha'olam.
Now I'd like to call up Jody Hess to offer us some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I am representing the Board of Trustees, and I'd like to welcome you to Temple this evening. Flowers on the bima are a loving memory of Jerry Chabler from Sandy Sloan and Elise Chabler. Sunday, May 19th is the last day of religious school. Join us at 10 a.m. for Hebrew school graduation, followed by the end-of-the-year picnic. And please email Wendy Payne to RSVP. Also, Thursday, May 23rd, is the Lunch and Learn with Bev Karp. Join Bev at 12 to 1:30 in the Temple Lounge to learn more about the Czech Torah scroll and the 60th anniversary of the rescue by Westminster Synagogue. Also, tomorrow, Janine, if she'd like to add, is not too late to donate and help out with Let's Build Beds. And I don't know if you would like to add something?
If anybody has extra time tomorrow at 8:30, please join us at Christ Presbyterian Church. And the activities will be probably over around noon, give or take a little bit. But a company or a nonprofit called Let's Build Beds will be there, and they will be helping them build beds for children ages 3 to 17 who do not have a bed.
So,
Any questions?
And part of it is we're also donating bedding and pillows for the beds that we're physically making, and we're taking donations to offset that cost because we have committed to how many bedding sets did you buy?
15 beds, so
Yeah.
we have 15 bed bags, 15 pillows, and we're taking those there. And again, we are sponsoring the beds also, so we are taking donations, and everything has been in Temple Talk.
Yes.
So if you have any more information, need any information, go to Temple Talk, because all the donations are also in there.
Janine, may I add, that church is on the corner of Sylvania and Jackman, the southeast corner.
Talmadge. Sylvania and Talmadge. Sylvania.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Jody. So we hope if you are inclined and would like to join us tomorrow morning, that's wonderful. If you'd like to join us in spirit, again, by helping us make sure that we can provide everything that we said we could. So tonight, the cantor and I wanted to honor Yom Ha'atzmaut, which is Israel's Independence Day. We have just passed, since Passover, 5 days later, we observe Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Remembrance Day. And then we have 2 more holidays back to back, Yom HaZikaron, which we observed Monday night at B'nai Israel, which is Israel's Memorial Day for those who have served in the military and also remembering those who have died due to terror. And then that same night, so that was Monday night to Tuesday night begins Yom Ha'atzmaut, which is Israel's Independence Day. And in other years, this is an incredibly joyous day, night going into the day, where there are fireworks and there are ceremonies and speeches and wonderful things about how it is that Israel is 76 years old this year. And as you can imagine, this year has been different. There were no fireworks because Israel, as we know, is still in the middle of a war, and there are still those who are held hostage in Gaza. And as American Jews, Jews living in the diaspora outside of Israel, different generations view Israel differently. And I think we are seeing that now play out in all across the country. And yet, our tradition says that going all the way back to Spain when the poet says, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, cut off my left hand. Jerusalem and Israel has always been a desire for the Jewish people, and for 2,000 years, we were without a homeland. And for the past 76 years, as a people, we have had that. And so with all of its complicated nature and complicated politics and everything else, we still honor it and we still celebrate it and have, for some of us, a very strong connection to the land and to the people of Israel. So tonight we will be exploring our prayers through this lens, and we have a poetry, we'll take a look at some Israeli poetry a little bit later on. And of course, as we have been doing, we are recognizing this evening Yosef Ohana, who is 23 years old, and he loves cycling and traveling around the country and camping out, and he always drops everything to help his family and friends. He was taken hostage from the Nova Festival, but before he did that, he helped others get to safety. He was trying to do what he could. He is the oldest of 3 brothers, and his mother said that he is a helpful and generous soul. And just on my way over here this evening, I also heard the news of the 3 who were found, whose bodies were found, who were thought to be alive until very recently this week. And 2 Thai foreign nationals who were working in Israel were also found dead, unfortunately. So again, there is always this mixture of happy and sad, and hopefully we'll find some meaning amongst it all. Let's turn now to page 120 for our candle blessing. I'd like to call up Michael and Kathy Gordon to light our Shabbat candles this evening. Yes. So you can either read one of these.
Okay, read this one. Okay. I should read
Yes.
it? Okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Just go ahead and light this one so it's easier. Sometimes it's a little tricky. Should I take it out? Yeah, you can just pick the whole thing up. Okay.
O source of light and truth, creator of the external law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who have entered the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Turn now to page 138 for Lecha Dodi.
This is a Lecha Dodi that's new to all of us, I believe. It's from a wonderful singing community in Israel known as Nava Tehillah. So it's very simple. I think you will catch on very quickly, and I know you will sing along with me. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ishmianu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'lidila Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת וקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת וקבלה.
Page 140, we have Psalm 92, which is a psalm specifically identified for Shabbat. And you'll notice in the Hebrew that it goes all the way down, and then there's the indented part. And the first words there are tzaddik katamar. And a version of Psalm 92 is tzaddik katamar. You can see, and there's also the indented translation at the bottom. The righteous bloom like a date palm, they thrive like a cedar in Lebanon.
Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, yizke. Eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, yizke. Tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach, yifrach, tzadik katamar yifrach. Eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, yizke. Eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, eretz balvanon yizke, yizke.
This melody that we just sang is an Israeli dance song. So Israeli dancing in a circle, this is was a very popular song for Israeli dancing. And it just goes to show how much of Israeli society is connected to our liturgy and connected to Judaism. We'll turn now to page 144 for the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav yikadash shemei rabba, Belmad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayeichon uv'yomeichon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, uv'yizman kariv, ve'imeru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam U'Lamei Amaya Yitbarach Yibarach V'yishtabach V'yipa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekucha Barichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran belma, ve'imeru amen.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu. 150, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Akein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokmeinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha ub'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hein chayenu ve'orach yameinu uvam negeh yomam v'layla negeh yomam v'layla ve'ahavatcha tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta on page 154.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 158, Mi chamocha. Page 162, we have the Shamru, our song for Shabbat.
I need a do-over, sorry, my bad. I played in the wrong key. Let's try again. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת ויהי נפש. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני
This week's Torah portion is called Amor, which means to speak. And in this week's Torah portion, we are given a long list of laws. So we're finishing up, we're still in the middle of Leviticus, and of course, so there are a lot of laws. And some of the laws for this week are challenging to us because they delineate who among the men of a particular age are able to become priests if they are within the priestly class. So it's getting a large pool of people, and then we break it down by male, and then we break it down by of a certain age, and we break it down by from what tribe they belong. And the laws continue, and they say that they have to be men of a particular with a particular physical ability, meaning that anybody who has ever broken a bone, or anyone who has any sort of physical deformity, or there are other lists that go on, and that these people are not allowed to fulfill this duty. And we might ask the question, well, how can that be? That there are only particular people who are able to serve God in this very important and highly prescribed way, that they have to meet all of these standards when we know that human bodies fail and that we are not all made the same. And so we have a challenge here. And I have been through quite a few text studies where people have gotten really angry about this, because how can it be that just this one small group of people can serve God? Over time, since we no longer do the sacrifices at the temple in Jerusalem, because we don't have a temple in Jerusalem, our way of connecting to God has been through prayer. And it has also democratized who can have a conversation with God, because we all can, because there isn't just one way to do it. This is all to say, I love this line at the bottom of page 165, because if we have gone from this place of making physical offerings of animals to offering words of our heart and prayer, we get to this beautiful concept. Every word of one's prayer should be like a rose that is picked from a bush. One gathers rows upon rows until a bouquet is formed and can be offered to God as a beautiful blessing. So we go from this very strict understanding of how and who can make these offerings to God to all of us have the opportunity to choose our words and ask for God's blessing upon us, ask for peace, ask for healing, just the same way as anyone sitting next to you tonight. So let's all rise now for the Amidah, beginning on page 164. Just a reminder that we are saying the words Morid Hatal when we get to page 168.
Adonai sefatai tifta ufi agi tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot v'Imachot Umevii Geula Libnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rab Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Page 174, have Ritzay. Tonight, it's a different setting than we are used to, maybe?
We're used to.
We are?
Yeah.
Great. Can you tell a little bit about the composer?
I can. So this Ritzay, which we do from time to time, I think you'll find the refrain familiar, is actually composed by Cantor Eliyahu Schleifer, who was the director of the cantorial program in Jerusalem when I attended HUC JIR School of Sacred Music there. And he is an incredible man, incredible composer, and incredible mensch. And what's very exciting is there's a collection of his compositions being published for the first time very soon by Transcontinental Music Publications. So we have been singing this tune for many years. It hasn't been published, and soon some of his works will be available to the wider world as well through his first publication. So that's very exciting. Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu Be'amach Yisrael U'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel U'tehil ratzon tamid Avodat Yisrael Amecha El karov lechol korav V'nei levadecha v'choneinu Shefoch ruchacha aleinu V'techezena eineinu B'shuvecha l'tzion V'techezena eineinu B'shuvecha l'tzion V'techezena eineinu B'shuvecha l'tzion V'techezena eineinu B'shuvecha l'tzion Berachamim Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato Letzion.
Page 179. We'll join together in the English. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorech et amo Yisrael, Bashalom. Our song for peace tonight is actually on page 656. Another Israeli song that is beloved called Lu Yehi. Sounds very similar to Let It Be from the Beatles, and it's written by Naomi Shemer, who is known for many of her national Israeli anthem-like.
I'm going to be doing the first and third verse only. Od yesh mifras lavan ba'ofek, mul anan shachor kaved, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi. Ve'im b'chalonot ha'erev, or nerot ha'chag ro'ed, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi. Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi. Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi. וכל ענות אני שומע, כל שופר וכל תופים, כל שנבקש לו יהי. לא תשמע בתוך כל אלה, גם תפילה אחת מפי, כל שנבקש לו יהי. Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi. Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenevakesh, lu yehi.
Page 371, our prayer for healing. This week in our community, we are praying for the healing of Lois Roth, Betty Benjamin, Richard Herman, Bonnie Ross, Cindy Bramson, Charlie Bauer, and Yitzhak Halevi Ben Miriam, Cantor Ivor Lichterman. If there are others that we would like to mention, please do so. Join together now.
Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength
May they each find a sense of wholeness and healing very soon. We'll take the next few moments for our own personal prayer.
Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, I did it again. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, la 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 la. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Ooh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imu.
Did everyone get a handout with the poems on them? So the poems that you are holding tonight came from they came from Israeli authors, but they were compiled by an organization called the I Center, which is based in Atlanta, and it does Israel education. And it's a really incredible organization. They have a lot of resources, and they're doing really, really wonderful work. So part of this is bringing to North American audiences, Israeli poetry and art. And so tonight I wanted to share some of that art with us. And in the cover letter for this, program or lesson that they were offering, it says, especially this year, who among us isn't asking themselves how to balance the pain of Yom HaZikaron and the joy of Yom HaAtzmaut? They go on to say, the situation is difficult, just as I said at the very beginning of our service. And it says, acknowledging the presence of the fracture and holding on to the dream and the hope that despite everything, is a meaningful part of the Jewish faith and Jewish culture. During our greatest joy, as we celebrate weddings, we still end the ceremony with the breaking of the glass. And during Pesach, when we are supposed to recline like free people, we eat matzah, the bread of our affliction. So we are used to holding these two things, this joy and this pain at all times as part of our Jewish tradition, not just now. So tonight I wanted us to look at the poem. On one side it says winter in Jerusalem, and then the other side it says something about Shabbat, right? On the 7th. We're going to be reading it in English tonight. If you would like to read it in Hebrew, please be my guest. Please be my guest. So as we're reading this, I want us to think about, what do these themes remind us of? Where have we heard these themes before? And we'll take a little bit of group participation after I read it. So this poem is by a man named Shahar Mario Mordechai. And this poem was actually written quite a few years ago. In 2006, this poet was born in 1975 in Kiryat Bialik to a secular Mizrahi family who began to publish his own poems in this journal, Mashiv Haruach, where we got this from. And Shachar recently won the Zelda Poetry Prize and has been awarded other prizes in recent memory. Okay, here we go. Master of all universes, you created the heaven and the earth in 6 days. And on the 7th, is it not true what they say? God ceased from doing all his work? Because on the 7th, you enlarge my heart and make it bigger. Since on every 7th day, my heart fills with light, and the sea in my heart returns to its place. And on high hangs the firmament with stars that shine brightly. And the dry land appeared, and my heart becomes a living soul. Welcome, ministering angels. It's already the time for you to come. The house and its furnishings are beautiful. Archangels, my heart is singing. It's the end of darkness and confusion. There is love within its walls. So I'm curious to hear from your own Jewish knowledge, what are some themes that were part of this poem that you know about from other parts of our Jewish practice or our Jewish culture? This is the participation part. Debbie?
The obvious answer is Genesis.
Yes, okay, right. Can you say more? What parts?
Well, lines 1, 2, 3, 4, lines 1 through 4.
Okay, great.
Even later down also the creation of land and the end of darkness, confusion.
Right, beautiful. Okay. Any others that you are familiar with to add to what Debbie has to say? Yes?
I don't have a paper, but I thought I was
Mm-hmm. Which part? Just for... Yes. So on Shalom Aleichem, we ask for our angels to accompany us from our home to our synagogue or around our Shabbat table, and they're supposed to provide us protection. And so that's, again, welcome in the ministering angels. Beautiful. Any other thoughts? So, as Debbie said, various parts of this poem describe the different days of creation that happened. And yet, it's talking about an individual and how they feel on Shabbat. The idea that on Shabbat, on the 7th day, you enlarge my heart and make it bigger. on the seventh day, my heart fills with light. Again, that's the separation between the darkness and light. And then the next one, and the sea and my heart return to its place, the separation of the water and the dry land. And the next one, and on high hangs the firmament with the stars that shine. Another one of the days of creation was separating the land and the firmament, the heavens. And then we have this idea of the ministering angels for Shabbat. And at the very end, it says it's the end of darkness and confusion. The very beginning of Genesis, it talks about tohu vavohu, that the entire world was chaos and there was no order to it. And so at the end of this beautiful poem, it says the end of darkness and confusion, and what fills the walls is love. So this poem is obviously written in Hebrew by an Israeli, and it has the ability to allow us to think about, how does this poem give us hope? That the very end is this idea of love within its walls. And as we're thinking about what's going on in Israel right now, what has gone on for the past 76 years, there have often been times when we may have felt hopeless. And yet, these Israeli artists and creators and poets spend their time creating art, which is a hopeful endeavor, allowing for bringing more beauty and love and knowledge into the world. So I'm curious if anybody has a thought about how this brings us hope. Right. So every single time we sing Hatikva, which will be at the end of the service tonight, just a sneak peek, we will get to sing about that hope. Any other thoughts? Eileen, did you have? Okay. Yeah.
I think the hope is the potential of the art movie, and I think it's a lovely poem. But my heart doesn't necessarily have a calendar that goes by, I'm to have a brittle heart instead. My heart would be full. So I contest that I'm not sure the fullness of the heart was, prescribed and set aside. But I think maybe the seventh day is that capacity, that sort of space where we can determine, what are we going to do with this little germ of an organ that we have that's sensory and functional. We're going to expand it. We're going to make it real.
Beautiful. Right. And I think the idea is that Shabbat might give us that ability to expand it.
Surely there's
Right. Nice. Anybody else? Well, you're welcome to keep these poems. There's another beautiful one on the other side, but I wanted us to focus on the Shabbat one because we are in our Shabbat space at this time. And I hope that we continue to allow our hearts to fill with hope, even in dark times. Shabbat Shalom. All right. We're going to return back to our prayer books now for the counting of the Omer on page 570. We are already 4 weeks into the Omer, 4 weeks of 7.
I heard actually that today is smack the middle.
Yes. Right. Okay. Hineni muhan uzman l'kayem mitzvot aseh shel tzfirat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Please say the blessing with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al tzfirat ha'omer. Hayom yom chamisha v'esrim yom, shehem shlosha shavuot v'arba'a yamim la'omer. Today is 25 days. All right, so I said 4 weeks, but it's not 4 weeks. 25 days, 3 weeks, and 4 days of the Omer. Again, we are going all the way to 49 days by the time we get to Shavuot. Please turn to page 586, and we'll rise together for Aleinu.
Shabbat Adon HaKol, Latin Gedula Liotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu, Kamishpachot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Begor Aleinu Kecho Hamonam. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu.
591.
V'ne'emar v'yadonai lemelech al kol haaretz.
Please be seated. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This week, we are remembering two who have been laid to rest in the most recent 30 days, Betty Brandman and Elaine Gordon. We also remember the yahrzeits of Richard Adler, Samuel Baer, Celia Kaiden Baer, Louise Barkin, Celia Berenson, Louis Berman, Virginia F. Binzer, Bessie B. Berger, Jerry Chabler, Ellen S. Cooper, Bertha C. Dreyfus, Paul M. Epstein, Molly Fischler, Marion Goldner, Myra Jacobs Greenberg, Norma Gross, Lenore B. Harris, Diane Harris, Julius Hess, Erwin Hess, Russell Hess, Harold Jaffe, Sally F. Cadens, Francis R. Levy, Celia Lobert, Maurice J. Marenberg, Harry May, Edward Eddie Meredith, Joseph Miller, Irvin Mindel, Beatrice Moore, Norval Nis Rappaport, Bernard Reifman, Lois Romanoff, Jake Shaneberg, Kathy Schiff, Chris Schneider, Hattie Silverman, Ann Steiner, Joseph Stevens, Edward Thal, Lorraine Wilner, and Robert M. Zanville. Are there others that we would like to mention before the Kaddish? The words to the mourner's Kaddish are on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yekadash shemei rabbah be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dehol beit Yisrael ba'agalal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'amei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemed kudisha, brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrobav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Zichronan Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. May be seated. Well, actually, we're actually going to stand because it's Hatikva. We will stand and face our Israeli flag. The words are on page 678. Shabbat Shalom. Just join us in the hallway for Kiddush and Motzi.